All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here, and welcome to our live review of the week. So, we are going to be reviewing Loot Dispute. This is a game that I was given for review at Gen Con from Gold Seal Games. They were actually sharing a booth with 25th Century Games, and they showed this to me. Honestly, truthfully, they said this is a game by Jeffrey Allers. That was enough. I know Jeffrey Allers, not on a hugely personal basis, but I've been able to meet him in a number of different times in the past, and he's a great guy, and I have enjoyed a lot of his different designs. New York Slice is based off of his... I can't remember the name. I can never piece of cake, I think is what it's called. But I'm gonna look it up here because I always brain fart this stuff. So oh god, do an advanced search though. No, I don't. I just got to do board designers and then Jeffrey D. Allers. There we go. And what are some things? Okay, so New York Slice, piece of cake. I always get the name of piece of cake mixed up because it always looks like pies to me, but it's actually cakes, but they're flat pieces. And anyway, so piece of cake was the first introduction for me to him. New York Slice is, of course, a derivative of that. Loot Dispute is in there. He's got 42 games. Donut Shop is another one that 25th Century has recently released that I really enjoy from Jeffrey Allers. Looking at some of the other ones, Alea Iacta Est is one that he has done. Gunkamono, Hashi, Heartland, Loot Dispute that we're talking about today, New Amsterdam. New York Slice we already talked about. Let's see here. What else do we have? I just want to make sure I mention all of them. Pandoria. Piece of cake we already talked about. Pioneer Rails is another one. Pizzeria. Rolnishi. Don't know what that is. Skyways. Anyway, haven't played a lot of these games, but the ones that I have played, I've enjoyed. And I've also enjoyed the idea of his use, or rather his employment of the I pick, you choose mechanism. And that's what Piece of Cake does, is what New York Slice does, and that's what this one does as well. Jeffrey Allers I consider him a friend, and he's a good guy, and I've enjoyed his games in the past. So that's all they really had to say about it. David Brownlee, howdy, chop chat, live chat. Exactly, thank you. Luke is here on time, dude. Yeah, nailing it. Jim Pritchett is here. Fun game that I got to play test a while back, then helped kickstart. Very good. Good to see you too, Jim. Thank you for being here, buddy. Matthew Vincent is here. Hola. David Brownlee says hello to everybody. I want to call this Loot Dispute. Well, here's the thing. Loot and Loot Dispute are two completely different games. And of course, you probably know that. But anyway, Loot Dispute has a really cool theme. You know, a lot of times when you're talking about loot and dungeons, you're talking about being the adventurers that are going in and killing all the bad guys and then taking all the loot. Well, this is actually after that. This is where the villagers are coming to the dungeon, and they are basically taking the stuff that the heroes, that the adventurers left behind, and they're splitting up the loot that the heroes left. That's the whole point of this game of Loot Dispute. You're going in there and you're dividing everything up as evenly as possible. So there is a very strong I cut, you choose mechanism working at the very beginning, But then there's also a set collection thing going on afterwards, because there are some merchants and patrons that are in one of the decks that you're going to be taking one of those each round. And the merchants, you have to ascribe to a certain column of your tableau. Patrons are just kind of off to the side, and they're going to give you a bunch of points based upon whatever it is that they do. But let's go ahead and get down to the table so we can show this off, and then we'll be talking about this a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, yes, Strider said hello. He's stuck his head up here. But Tom says he remembers this game. It was fun. Karen here. What's up, Karen? Oh, okay, here. Karen, check it out. I'm wearing my Lucky 13 shirt today because I wanted to remind myself that I did get a hold of Al. He called me back, and there is no way for them to sell things online, but they did say that they can take phone orders, and they can do it on Thursdays. So if you give a call, remember their Central Standard Time, if you give them a call at the museum, Pam and or Al will be able to take a phone order for you. They'll be able to get everything charged, and they'll get you your stuff sent to you if you so desire. So the reason I'm saying that is because Karen was asking about getting these Lucky 13 shirts. Lucky 13 is the number of the fire engine that my grandfather rode on when he was a firefighter in San Antonio. He passed away earlier this year, and I had to go down and get some of those get some of those things in order. My cousin was there as well. He's been a huge help. But anyway, this is the shirt that I brought back for my wife and I to kind of just be a memorial shirt for us. And so people have seen it and they've wanted it. They also has, I don't know if I've shown the back of this, but here's what the back looks like. So it's a really neat shirt, and people have expressed interest in purchasing the shirt from them to kind of help the San Antonio Fire Museum, where my grandpa volunteered and gave his time, and while he was still with us, and so I said I would figure that out. So if you give the San Antonio Fire Museum a call on Thursdays, that's when Pam and Al will both be there, and they will be able to get you guys squared away if you so desire. So that is that. Let's see here. Gold Seal Games is here. What's up? What's up? Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. I love it when the publisher shows up and or the designers. So thank you for being here, y'all. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Yes, I'm on it. All right, good. Is Maribeth's 13 is Maribeth's favorite number? Well, there you go. GSG Andrew is in the house. That's right. Go see his up, Jimbo. That's right. All right. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, Karen. Thank you. I think it's a cool thing. All right. Let's go ahead and get down to the table here, and we will get started with our review. All right. So as I kind of explained already, this is an I split or I cut you choose game, and the game's going to be played in 5 rounds. And each round is determined by these cards. And these are each of the dungeon rooms that are in the dungeon. So there are different setups for the player counts. So here with 2 players, you're going to be using these dungeon rooms. 3 players, you're going to be using these, and so forth and so on. There are a couple of C's, so you can shuffle them and put them in whatever order you want to. But generally speaking, what you're going to do is you're going to choose a side also, and I guess you can do that however you wish, but you're going to lay out the room like this, like I have here. The red card right here is going to be a card that is face down, that nobody can actually see. The rest of them are going to be face up in common knowledge, but once you've done that, you're pretty much ready to go. The oldest player, I believe it is the one who gets to be the first player. So I'm going to go ahead and have myself be that first player. These cards down here are some of the merchant cards I was talking about earlier. And you put a number of merchant cards out that is equal to the number of players plus 1. So that, whenever it comes time for you to take one of those merchants, you always have a choice. You're not ever stuck with one. But the one that doesn't get chosen gets put underneath the deck, and it possibly could show up later on. Also comes with a score sheet that is denoted right over here, and then here is your deck of cards. And one of the things I like to point out is that the deck of cards has that real shiny gold gilded edges on it. I thought that was a neat little twist, a neat little addition there. But anyway, what's going to happen here is on your turn, you are going to take your dude or dudette, and you're going to place it on an unclaimed group of cards. But before you do that, you have the opportunity to split the group that's out there along one of the axes or seams of the cards, but it has to be a straight line. You can't go, well, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to split these out and these down. No, you can't do that. You have to go on a straight seam wherever it might be. So, for example, I might do something like, I might go something like this. I'm going to split along this right here, and I'm going to claim this group. Now, what it's going to do now is it's going to go to the next person's turn, and they are going to be able to either, they can say, you know what, I don't want that to happen. I'm going to split this group, which will send me back to my user here, and then I'm going to claim this. That's one thing that they could do. They could also just say, okay, well, I think what I want to do is, I think I want to go with this, and then I'm going to choose this one. All right, so now it comes to this person. This person can come in and say, all right, well, he can either split one of these two, or he could just claim this group right down here. So what he's probably going to do, just for the sake of ease, is he's going to go ahead and claim this one. Once it comes back to my turn, I get to, if you are still on a group that you chose at the beginning of your turn, you get to take those cards and add them to your tableau. You're going to have one column for each color, like so. And then I get to turn this over, see what it is. Ooh, it's another black one. That's awesome. Now, in the advanced game, in the normal game, the person who takes in the advanced game, the person who took the card that is face down, they're the ones that get to take the first player token. Otherwise, it's the first person to take their group, they get to take the first player token. So that's kind of a nuance. I usually just play with either one, whatever you guys want to do. Now that I've taken one group, I'm going to be able to choose from these merchants over here to determine where they go. So, for example, if I choose this merchant right here, at the end of the game, whatever column he is set to be the minister of, you're just going to simply sum all of those numbers, and that's how many points he's going to give you at the end of the game. So that's what this one does. This one is a different number of items. So the different number of items that you have, for example, number of items is the number. So a different number of items is going to give you more points. So if you have only one kind of item, like this one only has 2 items in it, so it would be giving me 3 points at the end of the game. If it got more than that, you get more points. This one is going to look for cards of pairs with the red column. So I don't have a red column over here, but let's say that I had 3 cards in my red column. I might want to take this and put it in my black column, because then I would have 3 pairs with my red column, and I would get 3 points each at the end of the game. This one does the same thing, except it's with scrolls or blue cards. So those are kind of similar. So which one do I think I want to take? Well, I think I'm going to take the sum of sizes and put it right here, because this is currently going to be giving me the most points. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. And now no other merchant can be put in that column. So now it comes back to this person, and they are going to be able to take their card. They're going to be able to take these two and put it right down here. And then this blue one, we'll put it right down there like that. And now let's see here. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and take this card because this card is going to help with reds. I'm going to put this right here because right now it's got one pair with reds. So as long as I can get at least another red card, I'll have two pairs, and that'll be worth 6 points at the end of the game. But once you start doing this, you can start taking cards that are going to buff up the points that you get for those cards. This comes back here, and then this person is able to take this one, and we will have one in here, and then one right there. And let's see here. We'll go ahead and put this one on the green one, since that green deck does have two different sizes, so it's scoring me the most points right now. Now this card right here goes onto the bottom of the merchant deck. 4 new cards come out of the merchants, and I'll just go ahead and say this right now. There are some cards in here that are like this. They're landscape, not portrait. And these are the patrons. And patrons are just going to give you points. They aren't ascribed to an actual column, but they're going to give you points based on whatever it might be. That one gives you 6 points for each set of all 6 colors that you have in your tableau at the end of the game. This one is going to be the most items of a color, and it gives you that many points for that. So you get the idea of the merchant cards. Now what happens here is you get rid of the room you were just in, and you're going to take and set up the next dungeon. So that red one is the one that goes face down, and then you have, well, let me do it this way so I can, 1, 2, 3, then we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, and 1, just like that. And now, since I was the first person to take a group, and I also took the face down one, I'm going to be able to go first again. So maybe I want to do something like a seam. All right, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go boom. That's a seam right there. And I'm going to go with this group. And that's how the game continues until you go through, like I said, 5 rounds. And then at the end of 5 rounds, you're going to total up how many points you have for each of the groups. And then you're also going to get possibly an extra 4 points if you got this card right here. And you get your points for your patrons. And then you total those up. Whoever has the most points is the winner at this point. All right. Currently at the eye doctor, Gold Seal Game says, but I'll try to hang around if there are any questions or any random rotten fruit to be tossed my way. Well, hopefully that won't be the case. Let's see here. I will send a pic once I get the shirt. Very cool. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Is there room in the box? Is there room for the box lid on the table? Yes, there are. Yes, there is. We'll go ahead and put it right there, just like that. Because we're pretty much done with the explanation of the game. Unless you want to just go ahead and continue the second round. I'm not going to play a whole bunch of more rounds. So maybe this person comes up and says, no, you're getting too many cards here, so I'm going to split this card like this, and I'm going to take these right here. I would come back like this. And so now this person over here is going to look at the cards that they have. They want some more green, and they do want that 3 down there, so they're just going to go ahead and go on up here like this. And because they're going to get that green card, which they want, which is going to add to their set right here, but it's going to help their purple and black columns as well. I think this is going to give me some more points, but yeah, okay. I'll stick with that. That's not a big deal at all. Comes back to this person, so they're able to take it. And so this goes here like that. This goes here like that. And then this one is just going to give them $4 at the, it's going to give them 4 points at the end of the game. So this just gets put kind of off to the side. Now, they were the first person, but since we're playing with the advanced rules, the person who takes this is going to get the first player. So nothing else happens, but they do get to choose here. And cards with pairs, okay. Well, then we're just going to take this one and go right here, just like that. So my black column here is going to pair with my yellow column, and it's so far it's giving me 6 points. So that's not bad. This person is going to go ahead and take their group, and theirs does have the one that is flipped over, so that will give them the first player token. So we flip that over. It's a blue. Then we have a purple, and we have a black, and we also have a green, and that's another one. So now this card's giving them 6 points at the end of the game. Now, which one of these are they going to want to do here? Same size. That's not helping at all. Different sizes would actually not be bad. But I think we're going to use this one and go with, put it on my purple column right here. So that's going to be that. And then I come back and I'm able to take this as well. So this will go up here. And then I also have a red. Gotta make some more room here. Like so. And I also get to choose, let's see, same size, different sizes. Same size, different sizes. Well, let's go with different sizes. All right, so we'll put that on my blue right here. Just like that, because we do have 2 different sizes right there. So it's getting me, right now it's getting me 4 points because I have one set with 2 items in it. All right, so now this card goes away and that goes there. This comes up here and we have another sum of sizes. We have cards with pairs. We have another patron here. This is going to give size 1 items. You get 2 points each at the end of the game. And then we have another one of those. Wow. All right, so we come here and we put 1 card face down. Then we have that. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. All right. That's that. They would start first, and we go through this, and that's how the game continues. I'm not going to play much more because that's just how the game goes. Why didn't you put the black 1 with the rest of the black cards? Oh, because I didn't notice that. Thanks for keeping me on point there, Tom. I appreciate it. Which group are you on? Is there room for the box lid on the table? Yes, there is. All right, so we read everything. So there we have it. That's Loot Dispute. All right, so as you can probably tell by now, this is not a difficult game. I just played through 2 rounds in less than 10 minutes. So this is going to be one of those games that's kind of like a palate cleanser where you're probably going to bookend it with a couple of bigger games, and you'll play this one to kind of get that big game taste out of your mouth and get that theme kind of blah, 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 and get ready for the next game. This is going to be a good kind of breath of fresh air, chill out for a little bit, keep the brain juices flowing, and then head into another big game. It's definitely not a headliner at any, with any stretch of the means, really. But one of the cool things about it is that it is so simple, and it does make you think. It does make you think, because after a while, you know exactly what people are going to want, and you're gonna know exactly how to divide it to make it just tempting enough that they leave the stuff that you want alone and just take the scraps that you gave them. That's one of the cool things that I like about I Cut You Choose games. It puts that thought process in your mind of how can I get what I want, and how can I convince people to let me have what I want? I have to make whatever I'm dividing, I need to make the other group look more enticing than the stuff that they know I want. That's a cool, like, razor's edge that you have to stand on sometimes. And sometimes it can mean that the game is just really mean and fiddly and blah, blah, blah. Other times, like this one, it's super fun in my opinion, and it gives that feeling of a bigger game, but it isn't a bigger game. And what I mean by that is that you do have to put some thought process into, how do I split? How do I divide this group to make it look enticing for everybody else, that other group that I don't really care about, and so that they leave my stuff alone. I really like that I cut, you choose thing that's going on. But then you take and put onto that set collection aspect of these patrons and these merchants, and it kind of gives me the same feel that you get to do in cities, where you are actually going to be choosing the point cards that you take. And that's what this game does as well. There's the I cut, you choose there, but then whoever takes that first group is the one that gets first pick at the merchants and the patrons. So you don't necessarily want to be so greedy that you get all of the stuff, but you want to be just greedy enough to where you get what you want, but you get to choose as quick as close to being first as possible for those merchants and patrons, so that you can get first pick over there and you're not just stuck with something, or with a couple of cards that you're not really even close to working towards. So I like all of that. That's kind of my final thoughts for the game. Now, pros and cons. Well, I've already kind of mentioned them. Pro, absolutely, is the I cut, you choose. I love the I cut, you choose in games like this, and Jeffrey is pretty good about doing pretty well on basing games around that function. We've already talked about in Pizza Slice, Piece of Cake, this one, Loot Dispute. Those are all pretty good games that use that same kind of basic mechanism of I cut, you choose. Other games that I've played that are like that, Charcuterie, the board game, that's another one that I enjoy a lot, and it's very much the same thing, where you're pulling out a number of food ingredients, and then you have to split them up into different groups, and the people are able to choose the groups that you took. The problem is that you get last choice. So that's like a super, how do I make all of these other stacks of ingredients look more enticing than the one that I want, or the couple that I want? I've played a lot of games that are like this, and this is one of the ones that really kind of packs that same punch, but in a very short time frame, and I like that about it. Not only does it have a mechanism that I enjoy, it doesn't take a whole long time to play it or to explain how to play it. So that's my first pro, is that I cut, you choose mechanism. I really enjoy that. Hanamakoji, Jishi Academy, those are basically the same game, just with different themes. But those two also use that same idea of I split and you choose, and then you get whatever's left. I just really like that mechanism. It just provides a lot of really good tension. So that's my first pro. My second pro is, and again, we've already kind of mentioned it in my final thoughts, these merchant and patron cards. These are really cool. It could have very easily been a much simpler game if you just got, points based on how many cards you got of each color or something like that. And made it a very simple set collection game that way. The fact that each of these patrons are different, and you do have some that are the same, so you can have the same kind of merchant in multiple columns, that's pretty cool. But one of the cool things about this is that, first of all, the patrons will kind of give you a broad sweep, extra amount of points based on your entire tableau, whereas your merchants are going to be kind of localized on each of the singular columns. And I like that as well, because there's two kinds of set collection going on, depending upon what cards you choose, not what you're told. So that's the cool nuance about this mechanism. It's not just the fact that it's set collection. Yeah, I like set collection, but you get to choose what kind of set collection you're going to be going for in each of these different columns. And I like that. I also like the fact, this is my third pro, I guess, how there's a couple of different ways how the first player marker moves around. It doesn't just go to the next person, or it doesn't just go to the person who has the most or the least or anything like that. It's, in the advanced game, which I kind of encourage you to play the advanced game. It's whoever takes that bottom, that face down card. Whoever gets that face down card gets the first player token. And the reason I like that the best is because you're gambling. You're gambling on that bottom card that is going to be something that's going to help you. And there's a real possibility that it won't be anything that helps you. So the caveat or the concession prize of choosing that face down card and rolling those dice, so to speak, is that you're also going to get the first player token. So you get to do the first cut and choose the first group and in the next round. I like that version of first player. The other way to do it is that the first person to take a group of cards gets the first player token. That's okay, but I really like the one where if you get the card, if you take the card that was face down, you get the first person. You get to go, you have first player token. I like that one. So I also like that little nuance. I think it's a cool way to reward taking a risk, and I like it. I like it. Colors are not Sam's forte. You be quiet, Jim. Let's see here. I'm liking this game. Reminds me a lot of Sushi Party Go, but different enough to be a different experience. There you go, Luke. Very good. Is Hanamakoja your favorite I Cut You Choose game? Brett, that's probably a pretty close contender. I would definitely say it's my top 5. But I think Pizza Slice and Piece of Cake and really Loot Dispute, those would also be in my top 10. I can't say that, without putting a little bit more thought into it, I can't really say exactly. But Hanamakoji would definitely be my top 5, I think. It's just a great, streamlined I Cut You Choose mechanism that has great artwork, and it's very easy to teach, and it's oh man, it's just really great. So yeah, Hanamakoji would definitely be top 5. I think this one is probably top 10. There's not a whole lot of them out there that are quick like this and like the other Jeffrey Aller games that use that same mechanism. So take that for what it's worth. David says, Hanamakoji is my favorite, but I have not played this one. The big difference is you can play this with more than 2. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Good thing to point out, Tom. Hanamakoji is only a 2-player game. This one goes up to 4. It's 2, 3, or 4. And there are cards that you take out for 2-player games and for 3-player games. So if you, here's the 4th player here, and there are another setup, there's a different setup. There are also cards that are only used in 4-player games. So it does go up to 4 players, and that's a cool thing as well, because frankly, especially if you're out playing games with someone, if you're out at a game night or something like that, the likelihood of just having 2 of you is lower unless you both show up late at the same time and everybody's in a game and you have to wait for everybody to get done. Now you have a 2-player game. But this one handles 2 players, but it also goes up to 3 and 4. So that's a good delineation, Tom. Thank you for making that. But it has the same kind of tension that Hanamakoji would have. Slightly different, don't get me wrong, but the tension is still real because you are splitting and you're kind of leaving that out there for everybody else to choose from. So it's important to note. Well, I'm trying to think, do I have any... I don't think I have any cons, man. I really don't. Because with a small game like this, I mean, this is going to seem really petty, but I would have liked for the cards to be a little bit more ornate, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Geez, I feel like I'm grasping at straws. Another pro would be that the components are really cool. I did point it out during the playthrough, but I love how the edges of the cards are, gold, gilded gold. I really like that. I think it's a great little touch. Makes it just look like this is a stack of gold, a stack of loot that's sitting here. I really enjoyed that. The score pad is not difficult. Setup is easy. All of the components work well. The standees, they are an economical choice, and the colored standees help you. But the players themselves also have a dominant color of what they are supposed to be. So the green player has a green jumpsuit on. The yellow player here has blonde hair. That's the only yellow that's really on that one. The red player here has a red overalls, and the blue player here has a pair of strikingly blue jeans on. So, but the colored standees were a good addition to it. There's the main thing that really makes it pop for me is the gilded gold edges of the cards, which also kind of tells you that it's not a hugely flashy game. We're talking about a small publisher, but with that being said, for this being from a small publisher, we have linen finished cards, gold gilded edges, good artwork. It's not great artwork, but it's good artwork. It doesn't look bad, and ease of play. This is a fun little game that I can easily recommend as a filler for almost anybody, because it's easy enough to teach for new players, and it is interesting enough as a filler game for seasoned players as well. So with that having been said, for the category that it's in, this is a filler game. It'll get 2 thumbs up from me, because now I do want to make the delineation. Me giving this 2 thumbs up is not the same as me giving a larger board game that has a lot more mechanisms and all that. It's not the same. As a filler game, this is definitely a 2 thumbs up filler game. This is a game that I would pick as a filler game if I am trying to cleanse the palate, okay, in between 2 larger games. This is a game that I would pick. So that's why it's getting 2 thumbs up. This doesn't mean that this is as good as Blood Rage. That's like an extreme, but you get what I'm saying, right? This is 2 thumbs up as a filler game, because I would choose this as the filler game if I were in that situation. All right, hopefully that makes sense. But I really did enjoy it. And just being honest, being transparent, I was hooked once I heard it was designed by Jeffrey Allers. I was already on board. So I appreciate Gold Seal Games giving me a review copy of it, and I'm glad to spread the word, because Jeffrey Allers is a great guy. Gold Seal Games is a bunch of great people, and this is a fun little filler game. So go check it out if you can. Gotta have a con or it isn't a complete review. All right. Well, I guess I gave you a con of the box is too small. Whatever. You don't have to have a con for it to be a complete review. Just for David, because David's a curmudgeon. He's not. He's a really great guy. I'm just giving him a hard time. I Cut You Choose can feel. Here's my con. I Cut You Choose can feel mean, because you can cut people out of what you know that they need and or want, or you can make it to where they get so little that they aren't really able to affect any kind of strategy. That is a possibility. In this game, I don't think it helps you that much because it'll just turn into a bicker, and then neither of you are going to do very well, which means the other people are going to do great because while you're fighting over stuff, they aren't. And they're like, man, let's just let them fight over the scraps and we'll take the good stuff, all right? But I guess if you really need a con, David, there you have it. It can feel mean at times, but it's really not the game. It's just that mechanism that will feel that way. My opinion, build a bridge and get over it. Because it's not really that huge of a con. And it's because I like that mechanism so much. I like that. You know, it basically comes down to if it backfires on you, hey, you're the one that started it. You're the one that cut. And just because they didn't choose what you think they were going to choose or what you thought they were going to choose doesn't mean that it's the mechanism that's mean or anything. So whatever. There you go, David. There's your con. And now it's a complete review. $25 if you want pre-painted minis? No, David, no. And be only $20 still, right? It needs plastic minis, a metal first player token, a wooden organizer, and an oversized box. Forget about it. Yeah, that's David for you. One of these days, Sam will be able to tell when I'm joking. I know you're joking. That's why I went in such a weird place. So, what you're saying is it plays a lot like TI4. No, that is not correct, Eric. You're way off the radar, buddy. Still got some of those metal first player coins, Andrew? Well, I know I probably have enough. This is fine. You don't need any more than this. This is a first player coin. That's all you need in your paddle ball game. That's all you need. All right. If you have any questions, ask away. I'm already 45 minutes in. But while Andrew is here from Gold Seal Games, ask any questions you have. Let him answer. If you have any questions for me, ask. Let me answer. It's completely up to you guys. Well, a gateway version of TI4. Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. Andrew, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My audience is just a little unhinged today. I apologize for them. The bright side of the story is that, Andrew, you don't have to meet them here again tomorrow. Sad face. Oh, all right. Well, let's see here. I'm going to start packing this up so I can get it ready to go back into its box. Nitpicky thing. This isn't a big deal for me because it fits in the box for me, but you might have trouble getting it into the box with the standees with these little plastic things on the standees. I am able to get it done, and which means that you would be able to get it done too. But at first, I had difficulty. I had a lot of difficulty with it, but I was able to get everything back into the box after a little bit of finagling, because I really didn't want to have to take the standees off of their bases every single game, so I had to play with it for a little bit, but I did get it done. All right. Oops, that goes like that. These two come up like that. These will come over. And just need the right size hammer. That is right. Indeed. Hammer indeed. Oh no. I forgot to take the A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. There we go. That's that. I just love that Loot Dispute gets a 45-minute review. Well, I like to explain the game. We talk about the game. That's just the way it is. I don't like giving I don't like giving games a pass. I just want to give it its due, you know what I mean? Okay, copied all of my stuff in here. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yep, got the metal coin still. Any new orders online will come with them until I run out. Oh, man. Wonder what that was. The metal coin is fine. All right, these are going to go in here like that. And this will go in here like that. That goes in. And this goes in. The main thing about making sure everything fits is you want to make sure that the cards are pretty much level. And then put this in here like that. And then these just they kind of fit in there on the edge like so. And then on the edge over here too. But you have to kind of smooch them in. But once you do that, it actually holds everything in place. Sweet. Then you can put the book in there, and everything fits fine. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Let's see here. Another con, no instructions for how to put it back in the box. If you need instructions about how to put it back in the box, you'll have issues, my friend. Pro of leaving Florida, no hurricanes in Wenatchee. Helene is headed right for us. Should be diminished by the time it hits Atlanta, though. Thanks for this. Lots of smiles for sure. Very good. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you. When you split a section, example, a section of 3 cards, does it matter which of those cards you place your standee on? No. You can choose which one you place your standee on. So if you split, if it's a set of 3 cards and you go 2 over here and 1 over here, you can put yours on the 2. Because even if there was a person there already, that person goes back to the player. And you get to choose which one of those 2 groups you place your standee on. Joking aside, looks like fun. Thanks for the review. You're welcome. All right, well, that's about that. I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you for joining me. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you, Andrew, from Gold Seal Games for being here. I appreciate you, too. And we will see you guys and gals tomorrow in the afternoon for a solo playthrough of a yet-to-be-determined game. Actually, I think I'm going to play Comic Hunters solo player. That's what I'm planning on doing. I wanted to do it last week, but I forgot it was in the other car and just had that car at work. So I'm probably going to do a solo play of Comic Hunters tomorrow afternoon. So I'll see you then. Take care. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Bye.